tax cuts bill, they filibustered it. They blocked it. They prevented aid to small businesses from even coming up for a vote. They are vehemently opposed to themselves. Vehemently opposed to their own ideas now. But perhaps the crowning weirdness of all of this weirdness is the energy bill. We learned today that the Senate is shelving the energy bill at least until after the recess, the August recess, because Democrats can't find even a few Republicans who are willing to support it. This is now the wussy little bill that once upon a time was the comprehensive energy reform bill that included a cap and trade system for cutting down carbon emissions. Why was that in there? Because everybody agreed they wanted to do it. John McCain and Sarah Palin campaigned on cap and trade not that long ago.
Joe Lieberman and I, my favorite Democrat, and I have proposed legislation which is called cap and trade.
He's got a good cap and trade policy that he supports.
So this cap and trade, that there will be incentives for people to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. It's a free market approach.
John McCain proposed legislation calling for mandatory caps on global warming gases or CO2 emissions. Do you agree with that?
I support his position on that, absolutely.
That's what they were for in 2008. They ran on cap and trade. Cap and trade was a Republican idea. It's what the Republican ticket ran on in 2008. Now that it is also something the Democrats want, well, here's what your presidential and vice presidential runners-up have to say about cap and trade now.
I have to address a little bit of the cap and tax, is what I call it, not cap and trade, and the devastation, as was already suggested, that it would have on our country if it were to pass.
I will not and cannot align myself with a giant government slush fund.
Even worse than the financial hits that our country and we as individuals would take with cap and tax, it would so disincentivize work ethic and industry and production because we are so reliant on our energy sources.
It's cap and tax. It's cap and tax.
How do you campaign against people who are simultaneously both for and against every major policy issue facing the nation? This is not a rhetorical question. I do not know the answer to this question. But it is how Republicans are running. And this is an election year. So Democrats are going to have to figure it out.
Suppose Senator John Doe puts forth a constitutional amendment that would outlaw abortion, even in cases of rape or incest, and he asked you to attend the announcement and support him in that. Would you do it?
I would. Yes, a proposal like that, I would stand by it.
Let's be completely clear about the facts here. There is no place in the world and no time in history where restricting women's reproductive rights makes a people or a nation more free or more equal. These extreme positions on abortion are, without any question, a war on American girls and women, and the fact that there are women who are both complicit and participatory in it is really neither surprising nor unprecedented. It has always been true, and it is incredibly important that we recognize that despite the fact that we can be very proud of these women and as politicians, that the question is, how do women as citizens fare on the other side of them either being elected or not elected?